close, I can only say that this Global Outreach Summit 2.0 is going to be, it's going to bring insights, innovation, and inclusivity. And this is a convention of culture, creativity, collaboration, and commerce.
I would like to mention that now the government is giving a lot of freebies to our people. I would say the government should give freebies definitely, maybe to the senior citizens or maybe for the health of the people. But just distributing freebies to the young people is not going to motivate them. Rather, they become a little lazy. And the industry is finding these problems in day-to-day working. Thank you.
About sports, it's a country of 55% youth. We are going to host Commonwealth Games in India. We are bidding for Olympics. Sports is going to be the biggest word which is going to be in next decade. And fashion plays a very important role because athleisure was the biggest word which was taken before COVID and at the COVID. So we are very focused that sports and man-made fiber industry we have to grow. And it is
market dominance. Because we talk about brand, we talk about many other things.
Yeah. So to start with, I'll give you a background. Retail normally operates on 4 segments. So there's the value segment, there's the high street, there's the bridge to premium, and then the premium segment. When you're trying to build a brand, it's mostly the high street and bridge to premium and the premium segment where you actually build the brand. In the value segment, it's about price competitiveness. India is in a fantastic position because the government has worked on 2 initiatives. One is infrastructure build-up and the second is FTA. Now, buyers normally look for a product, they look for price competitiveness, they look for a country which can provide service levels both in terms of quality and timely delivery. We are at that cusp where we have got the infrastructure and we now with a market access can build a market domination. So in the UK and Europe where we are about 6 to 8%, the government is already putting in steps that we should see a multiplier coming in effect and us becoming very dominant players. And currently from our 6th and 8th position, 6th position for the UK and 8th position for the EU, move into the top 3.
One thing which I missed, and that is called after-sales service.
Very important.
Which generally many people forget about while creating their own brand. The after-sales service is as important as sales.
Absolutely, backbone.
And that makes customer totally satisfied.
I'll just add to it. Yeah.
So before I get to your question, I just want to share a few facts. So the value of the global apparel and textile industry is 900 billion. India does 37 billion, which is barely anything. Our goal is 100 billion, which is still not a tenth of the global market share. Anyhow, from 37 to 100 itself is like my, the last 5 innings of a T20 in everybody's opinion. So the FTAs has opened up a huge opportunity for us. And if we, work towards it smartly, we can capitalize and easily cross even the 100 billion target. Now, see, the government already has a few policies in place. They announced quite a few of them in the budget this year. PM Mitra Parks being one of them, where, there's already the foundation that's been laid in MP. So that's one piece of it. But currently, the 37 billion is being done from factories which are not in the PM Mitra Park range, right? And PM Mitra Parks will cover another percentage. What we need from our current factories is, it's very simple. We need scale. Any factory in a Vietnam or a Bangladesh or a Cambodia starts with 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 machines. We can barely reach 500 machines, so we must scale up capacity. All of our competitors have invested in technology, automation. We've all spoken about it, but they've all invested. Their efficiencies are way ahead of ours. So we must invest in that. We must invest in a sustainable value chain. So the we're out of this the FTA countries, Europe is going to be a big portion of it. Now we wanted a level playing field, right? But Europe is also looking towards a highly sustainable. I mean, their metrics are so stringent. We've got CSRD, which is already kicked in. There is CBAM, which is yet to kick in, which is the carbon certificate. Yes, carbon border adjustment mechanism, the certification, which has not started with the apparel industry yet, but we will also have to provide with that, to the EU. We've got EUDR, which has also already started, which requires products to be sourced from deforestation-free areas. There is ESRS in the EU. So there's a lot of regulations towards, sustainable supply chain, and currently we are not there. Our existing factories are, the big ones are definitely working towards it. But, if you look down into the value chain, there is a whole piece of it which is, the mills, the dyeing units, the printers. A lot of them are not even thinking towards that. So the ask, if we want to be competing and growing at that scale, it should not just come from the manufacturers. It has to go down to the value chain. Compliance is another piece of it. So, again, countries like EU are very, very strict on ethical compliance. ESG is a big part of their, business model. So these are all things that we really actively have to work on to be able to reach the scale. Capacity alone will not do it. All of these things have to go hand in hand with the existing factories. Now, the PM Mitra Parks will provide quite a lot of this infrastructure already. That's what the government has thought of, which is, I think, we've had a very visionary plan of action. But both parts of the industry will have to balance so that we can get to that and basically maximize full use of the FTAs.
That has the maximum number of patents globally. Innovation runs in their blood, in their thought process. India can learn. I've started going to Japan to set up our office about 2 years back, and every time I go, I come back with a slight amount of depression, but also a lot of inspiration. Depression because there are so many things that are logical, but we do not do it in India, whether in our industry or even as a normal way of life. So, taking a cue from what you said, India has had a free trade agreement with Japan for the last 10 years. But Japan and India have not had success in the apparel industry. Our trade councils have been visiting at least 3 to 4 times a year, taking a lot of exporters to Japan and trying to match make them with Japanese brands and trying to get appreciation of Japanese brands for Indian manufacturers कि भाई आप आइए यहाँ पे अपने orders place करिए और ले जाइए, so that we can get a fair share. Japan wants to work with India, but India always loses the opportunity because we do not understand the mechanics of dealing with a country like Japan. It's very different to what we deal with on a daily basis with Europe or with America. If we apply the same formula in Japan, we will still remain under 1% of their buying. So what we have tried to do is, first of all, if you want to get into a country deeply, a country which is as insulated and also open as Japan, you need to not only understand the fashion there, you have to start with the culture. Because the culture plays a key role, in making you first understand how do I approach my customer. If I need business from Vipin, if I don't understand his thought process, he wants to buy green vegetables and I come to him with all the red colored vegetables and try to sell to him, he will not. Japanese are very polite. They will say nothing on your face. They will bow 100 times and you will think you've done a great job and come back home but with 0 results. So I think the trade councils have done what they've done, but there is a soft skill needed. And that soft skill starts from the appreciation of the culture and the thought process. Because till the time they do not see you as a person who understands them, how can they risk placing 100,000 pieces of business, you know, thousands of kilometers away in India, and just thinking कि वो माल आएगा कि नहीं आएगा, आएगा भी तो किस quality में आएगा. So India is the only country where they actually have a system that Japanese people are sitting here and inspecting each and every garment. 100% inspection from India. Because they believe that if they don't do that, they'll get goods where 30% would be wasted. Because in Japan's thinking, zero defect. That's the only way to produce and ship. Yeah, I mean in Japan, you know, when I went with my family and we wanted to throw some of the packages that we had used and all, we could not find a dustbin, you know. So we had, so they carry polythenes in which they keep their waste. When they go and find a place or go home, they put it into this thing. So anyways, having said that, to our textile industry, it's a huge opportunity. It's a huge opportunity. They want to increase the share 10 times from India. But Indian industry has to adapt, first of all, has to upgrade the thought process of quality to a level where it's not going to be easy. So if we are able to do that, and if we believe in excellence, you know,